right in front of me, I've got some Arby's spicy brisket curly fry poutine and the return of the Arby's brisket sandwich. Welcome to Canada, eh? Hello, food freaks, and welcome to That's Rank. While Americans have been able to enjoy the brisket offerings from Arby's for several years now, that has not been the case in Canada. While we aren't hurting for cows, Alberta's known for its incredible supply of cattle, a lot of our brisket actually winds up either getting turned into smoked meat from Montreal or largely outsourced. Now, of course, the downside is that Arby's making the decision to bring this back could spell bad news for those of us who enjoy barbecuing in Canada. In 2013, when they released their brisket sandwiches in the USA, the demand was so crazy high that Arby's alone wound up causing a 30% spike in the cost of brisket. Up here, we already pay like $6 a pound on the regular. Like, I can't handle any more squeezing, Arby's. Anyway, we'll take a look at this brisket sandwich shortly, but first, because this is Canada, we actually get a chance to hold one over on America, and I'm talking about the curly fry poutine. Spicy brisket curly fry poutine. They do have a non-spicy version of this poutine as well, but I figured if we're gonna go ahead and do this, we're gonna go all the way. It comes with a base of their famous curly fries, gravy, cheese curds, brisket, barbecue sauce, and the spicy version adds a little bit of diced jalapenos on top. Every single word of that sounds amazing to me. I rushed home so that we could eat it while it was still hot and hopefully crispy. I'll give you a close-up so you can admire all the elements up close before I jam it in my mouth hole. Are you all ready? I know I'm ready. Come on, let's do this. Holy that is amazing. Wow. Every single thing in here is great. The gravy is thick, so it's sticking to the fries, almost like a hearty stew gravy, and that's not traditional poutine gravy, but in this context, I really like it. And then there's the brisket. Let me show you a piece of this up close. While it's not as smoky as I would ideally like, you can see the smoke ring existing on the edge of it, so they have cooked it properly. And let's be honest, this is a fast food offering. This is actually a super reasonable take on what I guess is a brisket poutine. I really don't think that you can ask for much better than this from Arby's. Also, the jalapenos and the barbecue sauce, it adds some really nice additional elements into this as well. It's more balanced all the way through. The jalapenos are sharp, almost like a spicy bell pepper flavor. And I really appreciate the fact that these aren't pickled jalapenos. These are the real deal. You've got fresh jalapeno pieces in here. The barbecue sauce is really nice and smoky, making up a little for what the brisket is lacking in smoke. Like, it's a good sauce. But for me, the really cool part of this is the curly fries. They actually go really, really well in a poutine because they have a really crunchy exterior coating on them, and then the soft potato fluffiness on the inside. For a fast food poutine, and I want to be really clear with what I'm saying so that you don't misunderstand, but for fast food, and I'm talking about this being up against the doldrums of Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, this is a really, really good poutine. I have to imagine it's about as high on the chain of fast food poutines that I've ever had. This is bloody excellent. Really good job, Arby's. Okay, if I go on eating this, I'm not gonna have any room for the brisket sandwich, so let's go ahead and put this aside for the time being, but don't worry. I'm gonna be getting back to this shortly, but for now, let's take a look at this sandwich. So, the Smokehouse Brisket sandwich actually found its way onto Arby's menus all the way back in 2013, though the original version has actually changed a little bit because instead of a slice of Gouda, it now comes with some cheddar cheese on top of the sandwich. But otherwise, it's still the same sandwich. It's got brisket, crispy onion strings, and barbecue sauce with a star-topped bun here on top. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a star-topped bun special? I have no idea. Let's take a closer look at the sandwich. Now, of course, y'all always dig the close-ups, so I'm a man of the people, I dig. Now, I will say, I expect a bit of a heartier sandwich, given that the cost on this was $9.99, but we'll give it a go. We've seen it, I've smelled it, there's really only one thing left to do. Okay, speaking honestly, every element in here is absolutely within my wheelhouse. It's got beef, cheese, and sauce, but it's not blowing my mind. Like, as a sandwich, it's fine. I might even order it again if I happen to find myself in an Arby's, but The first thing that really stands out to me about this sandwich is how important the sauce is here, because the brisket is really dry. Look, speaking from experience, I get it. Brisket is a really difficult thing to cook and it dries out really, really quickly. So I assume that in a sandwich, what they would want to do is vacuum seal it after barbecuing it, cool it down, and then slice it to order to ensure maximum moisture inside the sandwich. And I really don't think that that's what they did here, because this meat is a bit chewy and dry. The flavor's actually all right. The sauce is good, and there is a little bit of smokiness on the meat as well, which I appreciate. And the cheddar's really, really good quality. I appreciate the fact that it's not a trashy Kraft single or anything like that. I don't know if I just went on a bad day or if they need to work with their brisket a little bit more. And what's weird is I think this is actually the same brisket that's in the poutine, but what I'm guessing occurred is that probably the gravy helped reconstitute the meat a little bit and gave it a bit of a better consistency. And in the sandwich, the true colors were exposed, and it's not that great. Well, today was a mixed bag, which I think summarizes Arby's really, really well. They're the ultimate hit or miss spot, doling out fairly consistent inconsistency with their food. I do love this poutine though, so credit where credit is due. This sandwich isn't gonna ruin the beauty of this gastric disaster I'm sitting in front of here. If you're gonna try anything new from a fast food spot this week, do make it this poutine. It's outstanding. All right, my friends, that is it for me today. So if you like this video, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, or don't, see if I care. No, actually I do care. Please don't hurt my feelings.